Girl, who was only 3 years old in body, had the soul of a 33-year-old inside her. One day, she was shocked to discover that her kindergarten teacher was having an affair with a classmate's father. Whenever she saw the two talking, she would immediately step in to interrupt them. This enraged the man to the extreme. Lisa had a more mature mindset than her peers because 3 years ago, she had been involved in a car accident. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself in a white space. The man at the front desk told Lisa that she was dead. According to her merits in her previous life, she could be reincarnated as an anteater in her next life. Lisa felt numb upon hearing this. The man then said that if she didn't want to be reincarnated as an anteater, she could relive the same life with her memories intact, accumulate merits, and strive to be human in her next life. Lisa agreed immediately. She walked to the gate of rebirth, turned the doorknob, and stepped inside. When Lisa came to her senses, she had returned to the moment of her birth. Seeing her parents, who were much younger than in her previous life, she wanted to speak up, but to avoid being seen as a freak, she had to act childish. Lisa's main task in this life was to accumulate more merits so she could be reincarnated as a human again. Finally, she endured the boring infant stage and dared to show her intelligence only when she entered kindergarten. One day, she saw her classmate's father chatting with the teacher. From a child's perspective, there was nothing amiss, but Lisa, viewing it from an adult's perspective, immediately noticed the hint of intimacy between them. Recalling the previous incident where her classmate suddenly withdrew from school and the teacher was also dismissed by the school, she instantly realized that the two were likely to develop an extramarital affair, resulting in her classmate growing up in a single-parent household. If she could prevent this affair, she would accumulate significant merit. From then on, whenever the two had the chance to speak, Lisa would interrupt them. This made the man furious. Lisa secretly gloated over this. But one day, the man seized an opportunity to slip the teacher a note. He instructed the teacher to read it after work. That evening, Lisa found the note in the drawer. Upon opening it, she discovered it was the man's pager number. If she simply discarded the note, it would have no effect. So Lisa took the number and replaced it with a casual greeting. The next step was to impersonate the teacher and send a message to the man. But using the home phone would expose her. She needed to find a public phone booth outside. After her parents fell asleep, she sneaked out. Relying on her memories from her previous life, she walked down the stairs and crossed the small bridge. After walking several kilometers, she finally found a phone booth. But she had never used one before and didn't know she had to insert coins. She could only drag her tired little body back home. Then she found her father's secret stash of money. Stealing money would reduce her merit, but to increase her merit, Lisa still stole it. She returned to the phone booth and finally sent the message. The next day, the man no longer harassed the teacher. Their relationship did not continue to develop. Lisa also accumulated a lot of merit. That night, she saw an anteater on TV and silently vowed to accumulate as much merit as possible in this lifetime. Even small acts of merit like picking up trash. Time passed quickly, and she began her elementary school life. Everything in her life was the same as in her previous life. Her two best friends were still as adorable as ever. In her previous life, she knew their friendship would remain unbreakable even after they turned 30. Soon, she entered middle school. When she saw the guy she had a crush on in her previous life, she had no interest in him at all, because she knew that in 10 years, he would turn into a greasy man. Since she didn't focus particularly on her studies, Lisa's grades were excellent but not top-notch. The top student in the school was still a genius named Ella. Lisa got into the same university as in her previous life, but her grades were slightly better. She chose a better medical program. However, this was busier than her previous job. It was only after his sister reminded him that he remembered today was his father's birthday, so he bought a gift and boarded the subway home. But unexpectedly, he saw a familiar face. It was his middle school teacher who had taught him twice. This person had a strange temperament and was not a good teacher at all. It seemed that the teacher hadn't done well in life over the years. He recorded a video to send to his close friends. But suddenly, the woman next to the teacher shouted, "Sexual harassment!" Despite the teacher's vigorous defense, he was restrained by the surrounding passengers. Lisa then remembered that her best friend had mentioned the teacher in her previous life. He had been expelled from school for sexually harassing female passengers on the subway. His life had become very miserable. Although Lisa didn't like this guy, she had seen clearly that the teacher hadn't touched anyone. Unwilling to see him wrongfully accused, she stepped forward to testify and showed the video. The video showed a person in black clothing groping someone. The teacher was proven innocent and recognized Lisa. A few days later, the teacher came to her home to thank her. Lisa then learned that the teacher's wife was pregnant. If he had been wrongfully accused, his future would have been difficult. Lisa was delighted that her unintended action had brought about such a positive outcome.